Krita is an amazing free software for image and animation editing. It has lots of features and many artists prefer to use it instead of working with proprietary formats like PSD. It would be great if you could use Krita's .kra and .krz formats directly in Unity, right? With KRaster Importer, you can. It's extremely easy. Here's how it works. Firstly, acquire the plugin and install it in Unity, link in the description. Note that it's installed in the Packages folder, so if you need to remove it, it can be found in the Package Manager. Any Krita and .aura files in your project will be recognized as assets and auto-import. Previews appear after a while. Nothing is imported by default, but you can multi-select assets and apply the import options to all at once. Internal mode works out of the box for simple images and PNG generation. It doesn't need Krita installed on your machine. The Import Image option makes textures and sprites as sub-assets. Most import settings are similar to Unity's, but there's a few additional conveniences too. You can even import sprite sheets directly, if they're based on a grid layout. First, specify how the grid is sliced. You can slice by amount of cells or by cell size in pixels. Here, we want to skip empty cells that are fully transparent. This importer is appropriate for simple cases where you don't need to use Unity's sprite editor on individual sprites. But it's still flexible enough that you can have regions with more specific definitions, like merging cells to form larger sprites or overriding the name pattern on that area. In this example, we need a region starting at row index 7 in the grid, where each sprite size in cells is 2 by 2, and the region has 5 sprites horizontally. We also need a second region at row index 9, merging 4 by 4 cells, having one single sprite. Generate an external image file to use all features from Unity's built-in texture importer. The default path pattern puts the file next to the source image. Both methods will automatically re-import whenever the source image changes, including updating or recreating the generated file. If Krita is installed, enable it in the preferences to get better compatibility. It will only be called when needed. It's required to render animations and to convert between all image formats. Confirm the path to the KritaRunner executable on the PyKrita script folder, then enable Krita. You can specify whether you want Krita to ask for exportation settings every time, or just use the recommended settings without asking. The animation exporter generates an image file for each frame. The default path pattern groups the results under the same folder. Use Unity's built-in importer on them as normal. This is similar to the render animation feature in Krita, but Unity automatically updates the frames whenever you save changes. You can manually convert images directly from Unity using Krita. Right-click Assets to quickly convert the selection to files on the same folder. This is useful to convert many formats that are not supported by Unity to PNG or EXR for importation. You can also do this to conveniently generate Krita files for editing. An advanced tool for these one-time batch conversions can also be found on the Assets menu. The default pattern generates images next to the original, changing just the extension. Select a format that Krita can export to. The first ones are also supported in Unity. Add one or more image paths to the list from the selection or by browsing. You can pick any image file that Krita can open. You can also use glob wildcards. Picking a folder will add a glob pattern to recursively include all subfiles and subpaths. When done, click the button to convert. You can use path patterns for better organization of the generated files. Path patterns are very flexible once you understand them. You can put the generated files anywhere. For an even more efficient workflow, you can apply one of the included presets. If you make full use of presets, you can even get zero-click fully automatic importation. You can auto-apply the correct settings for not only the source images themselves, but also for the textures and sprites they generate as separate files. This is a high-quality product, designed to be intuitive and productive. It's fully documented in the online wiki and in editor tooltips. It's also thoroughly tested. It works fully offline in editor, respecting your privacy, and won't add any code to your builds. This plugin is a must if you use both Krita and Unity. It can greatly simplify your workflow so you save your precious time. It also allows your artists to avoid having to pay for proprietary software when there's very good free alternatives like Krita. Free your artists. Get KRaster Importer today.